Hey, Warrior Women, I just wanted to jump in here on this Tuesday and give you a little bit of love, a little bit of support, a little bit of guidance, and about this topic that I'm going to talk to you about right now. Because if you ever go through it, which I'm sure that you will, because there's mean people out there, so it'll happen. But just something that I experienced this weekend and how God dealt with me about it. So I think it was on Sunday, but I was all in my emotions because I was feeling an offense and I was feeling rejected. And also because I was in my emotions, I was down on myself and I was being critical of myself because I didn't want to be in that spot. I didn't want to be feeling the emotions I was feeling and the kind of the chaos that I was feeling in my mind. So I was being very critical of myself. And then I got a gentle nudge by the Spirit, and I was reminded, hey, didn't you just write that post the other day that started out by talking about that when you're feeling that self-condemnation, it's not by the Spirit, it is by the devil, the enemy, who is leading you into self-condemnation. And it was, yeah, you're right. And so I grabbed a hold of that stream, and I shut that off because what the Spirit was also telling me is what is the fruit of the Spirit. The Spirit is not this chaos that you are in your mind right now. It is peace. It is self-control. So I was able to take a hold of that and shut that off, that stream, because that's what it was. It was chaos. And also at the same time tell the Satan to get lost and to buzz off, and get out of my head, which is what you have to do. You have to remind yourself and him that you are in authority now because of God's death on the cross. And he has lost. So later, not too much longer later, I was in my Bible and I was reading Ephesians 6, 7, and 8. And that goes like this. Ephesians 6, 7, with goodwill doing service as to the Lord and not to men, knowing, key word, knowing, also key, as to the Lord, not to men, that whatsoever good thing any man does, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. And that struck me because a lot of times when you are, receiving injustice or slights, or you feel like you're being rejected, you want to do unto others as they are doing to you, right? Isn't that how the Bible verse goes? No, not really. That's not how it goes. We're supposed to do unto others how we want them to do to us. But that's not, unfortunately, more often than not, it's not how we respond. We don't respond in the Christian way, we respond in the world way. And so I was reminded that, hey, I am supposed to do good no matter how I feel like I'm being treated. That I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And so that is what I did. I responded good. And then another thing that I heard also at the same time that song popped into my head, trust and obey. For there really is no other way. And I was like, okay, I hear you, Lord. And that gave me total and complete peace, is to do it his way and trust him and obey him. And another verse that goes hand in hand with that is Psalms 37:3, which says, trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily you shall be fed. If we do things God's way, everything will work out for our good. That's sweating the small stuff. That stuff gets in our way. And more often than not, Satan is creating those obstacles and working through other people to get us out of the way. We as warrior women leaders, if we want to be leaders, we have to remember that, first of all, we are known by our fruit. How are Christians known? Well, how is anybody known? It's by their fruit. What fruit are we? What kind of fruit do we have in our lives? What seeds are we planting? What harvest are we going to reap? We always have to be conscious of that, realizing that we might be the only light that's shining in these people in our circle, you know, we might be the only light that these people know. And we have to always be conscious of the fact that how we're serving others, how we're showing up, the fruits that are in our life, you know, how we interact with people makes a huge difference, especially when we're supposed to be that light. So remember that we are supposed to be the leaders, and when people see God's light shining through us, then they want to follow us. And that's how we should show up each and every day, doing good, trusting and obeying, because really there is no other way. Everything else is just obstacles that Satan is throwing at our feet, trying to get us off the path, trying to get us out of the mission that God has for us, trying to get us out of the purpose and the will of God that God has for us. And we should always be remember that, cognizant of that, knowing the tricks of the devil and what's up his sleeve, and knowing, trust God, do good, and he has got your back. Hope you guys have an awesome Tuesday.